India's hand-stitched vessel, rekindling a 5,000-year-old legacy. 17-day maiden voyage to Oman, reviving ancient maritime routes. INSV Kaundinya scripts history.
Alright, just as the sun reached its highest point on the 14th of January 2026, a wooden ship, stitched, not welded, driven by wind, not engines, docked in Muscat's Port Sultan Qaboos. Omani vessels lined up in salute, water cannons arched in the air. India's INSV Kaundinya had arrived, and with it, a 5,000-year-old story returned to life. Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Explained with me, Vineet Malhotra, where we turn our attention to the historical journey described as a voyage across time, which spanned 18 days across the Arabian Sea. But what makes this moment historic, and why is it capturing attention across the subcontinent and beyond, is the question. For that, we must first journey back in time. 30 rock-cut Buddhist cave monuments in Maharashtra's Aurangabad district, better known as the Ajanta Caves, depict one of the few records of India's long-standing maritime expertise. One mural, dated 5th century CE, showcases India's early hand-stitched vessels. INSV Kaundinya is a recreation of these 5th century ships. Without a blueprint, the Indian Navy artisans, headed by Master Shipwright Babu Sankaran and builder Pratmesh Dandekar, worked together to recreate the ship. Naval architects relied on iconography and historical references. The 65-foot-long stitched ship is equipped with square sails and steering oars, which are entirely alien to modern-day ships. The ship does not have an engine and moves under these square sails, helped by favorable winds. The ship's wooden planks have been stitched together with the coir rope made from coconut fiber and sealed with natural resin. The stitched plank construction does away with the need of modern nails or metal fastenings, which are liable to rust. The ship has been constructed by traditional shipwrights from Kerala using such coconut fiber stitching, wooden joinery, coir rope and natural resins, and powered by cotton sails. Over several months, the team painstakingly stitched together the vessel, making use of indigenous maritime knowledge and sustainable shipbuilding traditions. The ship's full geometry, rigging and sails were reimagined and tested from first principles. The Indian Navy collaborated with the IIT Madras Department of Ocean Engineering for validating the vessel's hydrodynamic behavior at sea. In-house structural analysis to assess the wooden mast system, designed and constructed using contemporary materials, was done using iconographic reference and hydrodynamic model testing conducted at IIT Madras. Initiated through a tripartite agreement between the Indian Ministry of Culture, the Indian Navy and Goa-based shipbuilding company Hodi Innovations in July 2023, the ship's keel was laid on the 12th of September 2023. The ship was finally commissioned on the 21st of May 2025 and departed for its maiden voyage on the 25th of December 2025, with the Indian Navy overseeing design, technical validation and construction process. It is not just ancient shipbuilding methods that the ship makes use of. However, the newly inducted vessel incorporates several culturally significant features. INSV Kaundinya's sails display motifs of the Gandhabarunda, a mythical two-headed bird representing the form of Hindu god Vidnu, and sun. The mythical Gandhabarunda has a long history as a powerful emblem used as a royal insignia by many South Indian dynasties, most notably the Vadiyars of Mysore and Vijayanagar kings. The vessel's bow bears a sculpted Simhayali, a powerful mythical guardian creature from the South Indian lore, symbolizing strength, courage and divine protection. It is usually used in temple architecture as well as a motif in textiles like Kanjivaram saris. A symbolic Harappan-style stone anchor adorns a deck based on ancient maritime traditions representing India's seafaring legacy, each element evoking the rich maritime traditions of ancient India. The most significant tribute to ancient India's maritime strength, however, is the vessel's name itself. The ship is named after a fabled Indian mariner, Kaundinya, who is believed to have sailed across the Indian Ocean to Southeast Asia. The legendary 1st century mariner sailed to Mekong Delta, where he met and married Queen Soma of Funan, which comprised much of present-day Cambodia, becoming the second king of Funan Kingdom. Kaundinya's marriage to Queen Soma is traditionally associated with the founding of the Funan Kingdom, the earliest known kingdom in Southeast Asia. The journey through the remarkable history of the vessel carries brings us to its present-day voyage. The historic westward expedition wasn't just navigation, it was memory in motion. On the 29th of December 2025, INSV Kaundinya departed from Porbandar, Gujarat, the same coast from which traders once sailed towards Arabia and Africa. The journey to Oman's Muscat retraced the ancient maritime route that connected India with the rest of the world for a millennia. The voyage began from Porbandar, one of India's oldest ports in Arabian Sea. This is symbolically important as Porbandar lies close to ancient shipbuilding hubs mentioned in Indian maritime history. From Porbandar, INSV Kaundinya headed southwest into the open Arabian Sea. For nearly 18 days, the crew lived the way ancient sailors once did. Navigation was done using celestial methods, ocean swells, and prevailing monsoon wind patterns. The crew took advantage of seasonal northeasterly and westerly wind and systems historically known to traders sailing between the Indian subcontinent and Oman. The voyage avoided modern shipping lanes as much as possible to recreate ancient conditions. Sailors continuously adjusted the square sail rig to changing winds, demonstrating seaworthiness of ancient Indian ship designs. The ship passed through waters historically used by the Indus Valley, Harappan and later Indian Ocean traders. After days at sea, INSV Kaundinya approached the Omani coastline, docking at Muscat to complete the historic sea crossing, the destination in itself holding great significance. Known in ancient texts as Magan, Oman was a key trading partner of the Indus Valley civilization. Muscat has been a vital Indian Ocean port for centuries, connecting India to West Asia, East Africa and beyond. The sea corridor used by INSV Kaundinya was used thousands of years ago for trade in copper, spices, beads and textiles. INSV Kaundinya's journey retraced not just a physical route, but India's civilizational maritime footprint across the Indian Ocean. The event holds added importance as India and Oman commemorate 70 years of diplomatic relations, underscoring the deep-rooted maritime, cultural and civilizational ties between the two nations that span more than 5,000 years. So who sailed this ship straight into history? We now take you through the people behind the voyage who were accorded a ceremonial reception at Port Sultan Qaboos. Crewed by 4 Indian Navy officers and 13 sailors, the crew was not just ceremonial but carried sailors, historians and navigators carrying the responsibility for not just the ship but for the story it told. The mission was commanded by Commander Vikas Shioran, with officer in charge Hemant Kumar overseeing the expedition. Also on board was Sanjeev Sanyal, Indian economist and historian who is a member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council and one of the minds behind reviving India's maritime past. Officer in charge Hemant Kumar has described the journey as exhilarating and adventurous. He said that 17 days at sea came with challenges. There were no proper beds, no air conditioning, in the heat and bouts of seasickness with the crew glad to be back on land. Meanwhile, historian Sanjeev Sanyal, who first pitched the idea of a stitched ship, said, "We now have a good idea of how ancient mariners felt when they made these great voyages." Asserting India's maritime power, he stated there was a colonial narrative that Indians somehow feared the seas and that we did not like to cross the oceans. We have proved that this is not true. We have proved the validity of the stitched ship design. We have understood the strengths and drawbacks of using this technology. This is not about one journey, this is about rewriting India's maritime narrative. For decades, a colonial myth persisted that Indians feared the sea and ocean-going trade came only with Europeans. INSV Kaundinya shatters that myth, plank by plank. As Kaundinya finally entered Muscat harbour, Omani naval vessels escorted her in. Then came the water salute, a rare honour because Oman understands this story. For Oman, India is not a new partner, it is an ancient neighbor. For thousands of years, traders crossed between Gujarat and Omani coast, exchanging spices, textiles, ideas, and culture. This voyage revived that forgotten highway. In an age of satellites, missiles, and nuclear submarines, this wooden ship delivers a powerful reminder that India's strength has always come from connection, not isolation. From sailing outward and engaging the world, INSV Kaundinya does not just return to port. It returns India to its rightful place as an Indian ocean civilization.
India's hand-stitched vessel, rekindling a 5,000-year-old legacy. 17-day maiden voyage to Oman, reviving ancient maritime roots. INSV Kaundinya scripts history.